This week, we begin reading Sefer Vayikra. And the very first word in the Sefer, the word Vayikra, is written with a small aleph. Why is it written with a small aleph? So the commentaries explain that Hashem wanted to write the word Vayikra, and he called. The word Vayikra is an expression of calling out of love. Hashem displayed love for Moshe and respect for Moshe by calling out. Moshe, on the other hand, didn't want Hashem to write Vayikra. He wanted him to write Vayikar, a word that also means calling, but in a much less respectable way, a word that was usually used for the prophets of the other nations, like Bilam. And therefore, the Torah writes the aleph, but it writes it small. On the surface, it seems like this was a compromise. Hashem wanted to write it big. Moshe wanted to write it, didn't want to write it at all, so they compromised and they wrote it small. But the truth is, if Moshe wanted to downplay the fact that Hashem Vayikra, the fact that Hashem called out to him in love, then writing the aleph small has the opposite effect. Because once it's written small, we all stop and we ask ourselves, why is the aleph small? And we highlight the fact that Hashem had that love for Moshe. So writing the aleph doesn't downplay the fact that Hashem used this expression of love and respect for Moshe. On the contrary, it seems to highlight it. But maybe that's exactly the point. Because when a person understands their place, when a person is an anav, when a person is humble, that itself is greatness. And that is the greatest level of all, to be humble and to recognize your place. We live in a world where our political leaders are often just people who are self-promoters and are only looking after power, are only looking after their own honor. But the Torah is telling us that true greatness is just the opposite. When a leader realizes his place, he realizes his own limitations, he realizes the power that he does and doesn't have, and the honor and respect that he does and doesn't deserve, then that is greatness. So therefore Hashem said, Moshe, you wanted to take out the aleph. You wanted to downplay your own honor. That's greatness. So now not only do you deserve to have the word Vayikra, I'm going to highlight the word Vayikra. I'm going to make the letter aleph small so that everybody stops and everybody asks, why is the aleph small? And we can highlight the fact that Hashem called out to Moshe with love. What a powerful lesson. If we want to achieve greatness, it's not about promoting ourselves. It's not about demanding honor and respect for ourselves. True greatness is when we recognize our own place. It's when we recognize where we belong. We recognize what we need to do, what we're supposed to do, and what we're not supposed to do. And when we do that, when we act out of humbleness, when we serve Hashem out of humbleness, then we could achieve true greatness. Have a great, great Shabbos.